Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. I'm Jon.
And I'm Matt.
And we are returning once again to the MetaGameZ Regionals for 2016, run by yours truly, and assisted by Matt, of course. And today we have round 4 with 2 players, Alex Fitzgerald Black and Andrew McDonald. Matt, what does Alex run today?
Well, Alex is running a Rebel list. He's got 2 X-Wings, the T-70s, and an A-Wing. So ships, especially the A-Wing, we haven't seen one of those in a while. Specifically, we've got Red Ace with R2-D2, an integrated Astromech, and a comms relay. We have the Poe Dameron, that is the original release, Pilot Skill 8 Poe, with the R5-P9, an integrated Astromech, and the Predator EPT. And then we've got Jake Farrell with the A-Wing Test Pilot title, Chardaan Refit, Push the Limit, Autothrusters, and the increased Adaptability.
So I believe that this is the first time that we're seeing the Red Ace on Wookies on X-Wing. What is special about him?
Well, the Red Ace, first time per round you remove a shield, you can assign an evade token to your ship. So it's, nice durability and then with the comms relay, if you don't use that evade that turn, you can keep it. And R2-D2, we've seen him, we love him. Really good way to get your shields back.
And quickly, Andrew is flying a Royal Palp Aces list. That's Soontirfell with the Royal Guard title, with Push the Limit, of course, Autothrusters, and Stealth Device with the double modification. We also have Karnor Jax. Now, Karnor Jax is a personal favorite of mine and of the Emperor Palpatine himself. He's running the Royal Guard title as well, Veteran Instincts, a hull upgrade, and Autothrusters. And Palp is flying in style with Captain Yor as his chauffeur. And these players are just getting right into it. Big rocks, a couple of pieces of large debris, so you can...
Those are some large obstructions this game.
Very large obstructions. Looks like Alex deployed right up at the flank on one end, a little off the screen with Jake, and he's just moving forward a little slowly, despite the fact that these T-70 X-Wings can really motor. Obviously getting those focus, and it looks like, for the most part, Andrew has really awkward deployment with that shuttle, but you never know.
Well, if you're not going to be moving it very fast and you kind of want to help aim it along a little bit, not a bad idea. Definitely an interesting deployment, but I'm excited to see how this turns out. As we mentioned last week, before we were just doing random picks of the Swiss. From now on, we are at the top 2 tables of the Swiss. So this... hopefully we'll get some really nice quality games. I'm really interested to see how Rebels are able to do against one of the reigning kings, which is the Palp Aces.
This is a Palp Aces list I have never seen before, with 2 Interceptors. I love Interceptors, and it looks like, for the most part, that, well, Karnor Jax is flying really ballsy in his deployment, but really snug up against Captain Yor. Kind of going away from the battlefield, not sure exactly where he's going, but I'm sure he'll turn around. As for Captain Yor, just, bumping, staying in place.
It doesn't want to go anywhere.
Doesn't want to stay anywhere. Now, another important note, I said that I love Karnor Jax, and here's the reason why. His pilot ability is enemy ships at range 1 cannot perform focus or evade actions and cannot spend focus or evade tokens. Now, this is really important given our current meta, especially with Dengaroo. As many of you had pointed out, there's a lot of Dengaroo floating about right now. Karnor Jax is a quintessential enemy of that, with his ability to just hang right up against Mataroo and be like, hey, you can't perform
focus.
You can't perform focus tokens at all. And then a lot of the very evasive ships like Soontirfell, another token of these Palp Aces, as you see right here, as soon as Karnor Jax gets within range 1 of him, he makes Soontirfell cry. So Karnor Jax is a key player in the current meta, a nice anti-pick, and we have yet to see him really shine on Wookiees on X-Wing, especially at this MetaGameZ event. So I'm really interested to see how he's going to do, and if Andrew can really pull off his strength.
It should be good. I like, so Soontir here he's just going full tilt towards that obstruction, but it looks like he wants to flank really hard. I wouldn't be surprised if Karnor, he should be able to clear a lot of the board space between himself and Soontir. Andrew's very likely going to want to try to get the drop on one of Alex's ships here with his 2 Interceptors. Just zoom in, kill it, or do as much damage as he can, zoom out, and just hit and run. As defensive as both of these ships are, Suntir with the stealth device, Autothrusters, Carnage with hull, upgrade on Autothrusters, and you still have Palpatine, focus. There's still a lot of attacks potentially coming out of those two T-70s. He doesn't want to play too risky.
No, he definitely wants to stick with the arc dodging. Now, for Karn or Jax, another really interesting point when it comes to Alex and how he's going to play this game. Karn or Jax is really good against all three of Alex's fighters. You have the Red Ace, who really wants to get that evade token and hold on to it. Well, if Karn or Jax is nearby,
he can't spend it.
Exactly. And then on top of that, Dameron, he wants to get a focus and hold on to it. And if Karn or Jax is nearby, As for Jake Farrell, he really shines when able to do a lot of these actions as well. So Karn or Jax is accidentally the key to Andrew's plan here. And that is going to be very interesting to see if he can leverage that, or if he's just going to use Karnor as a scare element and shepherd most of Alex's squadron into dealing with what he wants to deal with.
Yep. All right, and we've got the two T-70s here. Alex is just flying nice and close together, getting themselves oriented towards Andrew's incoming fighters. Now the Red Ace behind a debris cloud. Not that big a deal. He'll get stressed next turn going through it. No action. Very possibly lose a shield, but grand scheme of things, not that big a deal. And it'll give him, if he does start taking shots this round, it may give him an extra defense dice. And, if, with the Red Ace, if he does happen to lose his shield from the debris cloud, hey, it triggers his pilot ability. And he's got an evade token going into the combat round.
Yes, and then R2-D2 if he does a green maneuver to recharge
He's
that
just
shield.
going to get it back anyway.
Yeah, it's really good, especially with that Comm relay. We're used to seeing Comm relay, of course, on Omega Leader, but having it on a T-70 is kind of interesting because normally they can't really make use of it.
Yeah.
Not unless you have some Jan Ors synergy going on there.
And here is... It's a little weird seeing Suntir moving, of the aces, moving before the other one, but in this case, he is the lower pilot skill.
Yes, absolutely. Karn or Jax is very often a pilot skill 10 with the veteran instincts, and it's very obvious why you'd want that. Karn or Jax excels at staying within the range 1 band, so being able to leverage that initiative bid and basically leverage the board to see where your opponent's going to go and outfly them.
Get stuck on them, yeah, exactly. So a 3-turn, a nice dainty little boost forward.
It doesn't look like Karnor is really afraid of much, and he's still staying true to his lore role of being the Emperor's bodyguard.
Yeah, checking. So here we have the opening shots of the game. There's a range 3 through an asteroid into Poe here. So, dice or dice. You know what? Why not? One potential damage there, it looks like. Poe, very unlikely to take anything from that.
Well, Poe has to be a little bit more careful in this game. And the reason why is that, unlike regular Poe, he does not have Autothrusters. He has that integrated Astromech instead, which means he's a little bit more durable, but he might actually take more damage in the long run just by not having that Autothruster proc.
Yeah, no, it is. I do like when the integrated Astromech came out. I like it a lot for the T-65 actually, but for both, if you're running Astromechs on your X-wings, it's a very nice upgrade, especially if in this case you don't have the points for Autothrusters.
All right, so we have some return shots. It looks like Alex is using some focus.
So there's Poe getting his shots out. This is into Karnor here. He wants to kill him as quickly as possible.
It's not going to happen with that Autothruster proc, and on top of which, Emperor Palpatine saying, hey,
nope,
that's my favorite buddy.
And so the shuttle is moving reasonably fast. It looks like Andrew wants to actually use the guns of this thing, get it in there, or possibly just, hey, I'm going to move as quickly as possible to try to completely hop the battle line and make you turn around if you want to attack my shuttle.
So there's
Red Ace, doesn't care, doesn't take the the crit from the debris cloud. Gets a stress. But, it's alright. He can handle it. It looks like Alex has decided, no, I'm going to try to box in and kill Soontir this turn. I don't want him hanging around and harassing me.
It looks like Jake is going to go and engage with Palp.
Yeah, so we have Jake he is going to start jousting with the shuttle.
The A-Wing is such an amazing fighter for intercepting its role, especially since it has that 5k turn like the Interceptor does, able to get behind a fighter such as, a ship such as the Lambda class shuttle, and once it's behind, it can pretty much stay there for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's a very, very capable little ship. And there we saw Jake's ability, takes a focus, gets a free barrel roll, and then pushes himself for an evade. And we've got Soontir just burning forward. Very aggressive maneuver there.
I think what Andrew was counting on was if Alex decided to go after Soontir, he was just going to make it very, very difficult to do it, and then Soontir can reposition, get behind, not really have to spend any kind of actions or stress himself out with push the limit because he's not taking any shots, and then he can easily do a K-turn, get behind these fighters who are now stressed, well, one of them is, from the debris, and pick them off.
And here we actually have Soontir he's in a position to start taking shots at Jake. Looks like he doesn't opt to push to give himself completely free reign next round. But a very, very nice foresight there. Using your own ships as essentially as bait. Because these Interceptors, we've played them, we've seen them. They're devilishly hard to keep to pin down and keep hold of.
However, much like a TIE fighter, once you do direct fire at them, they do go down. So you have to be very careful, and you have to have a lot of trust in your ability to arc dodge.
And very nice boost there. Skimming close to the asteroid, but putting Karnor in a beautiful spot. Get a really powerful flank shot into Poe here. And it looks like, so again, Andrew is not pushing the limit. He wants to keep himself unstressed. Nice range 1 shot, though, into the side of Poe. And Karnor, the thing with him, though, he does not prevent Poe's passive pilot ability of going off and modifying the 1 dice.
However, Karnor Jax does prevent Poe from spending that shield to use R5P9 later on in this round to recover a shield.
Absolutely, he cannot spend that focus. And so there is Soontir shooting into Jake. We have Autothrusters on Jake triggering, and it looks like Alex has decided to spend his evade token. Jake returning fire into the shuttle, but missing completely, unfortunately. And let's see where the shuttle opts to fire. Looks like he may have range into Poe, or he may continue with Soontir and go into Jake.
I think with the fact that Poe does not have Autothrusters, I would fire into Poe. And he's rolling a defense dice instead of an attack dice.
A little bit of oops.
Remedied that, spend that focus. Not a very good roll for Poe there. Can't spend the focus, but looks like he was completely able to negate it.
Yep, gets enough evades with the range 3 and the asteroid. And they're realizing, oh dang, I can't spend my focus token. And and now so Alex's T-70s are in a bit of a sticky situation here, especially with the Interceptor being able to 1 turn if he needs to. He can Karnor can really hang on the back of these two T-70s.
On top of which, it looks like Alex has put himself in a bit of a sticky situation with Jake pushing the limit last turn. He can't do that nice K-turn in order to get behind the Lambda class shuttle, and he's in a difficult position depending on where Karnor Jax wants to go. Very easy to lose an action, and once this A-Wing loses an action, he might end up being dead.
He could, yeah. A-Wings, they're a lot like TIE fighters. They don't like having their actions taken away. And so there is Red Ace doing a nice maneuver forward, getting himself a focus, clearing the stress out. And we have Jake. The nice, beautiful thing with an A-Wing, much like an Interceptor, it has a phenomenal number of green maneuvers.
It does.
Including that one. And so, looks like Jake just opts to hop the shuttle, wants to get away from it, doesn't want to be sitting in front of its guns.
Well, he gives himself a really good maneuver set for next round. What he wants to do, completely open, doesn't have to necessarily worry too much about stressing himself out, and leaves himself open for many options. The beautiful one turns are a great way of dealing with this Lambda class shuttle, but it looks like he's going to boost.
Yeah, well, he took a focus action there, so gets a free boost. Get himself swung around a little bit. Try to keep distance between himself and Karnor.
Yeah, I really don't blame him. So one of the things that I am curious to see if Alex is going to do is the beautiful Talon roll for Poe Dameron. He is in a really good place to use it if he so chooses.
Either direction, too, yeah.
And when you have someone like Karnor Jax hanging around, it might not be a bad choice to use it, just because you can't have full access of your focus.
For sure. So Jake pushing the limit to target lock Karnor there. And yeah, and Talon rolling with Poe heading towards Karnor, probably not a bad idea. Looks like he opts for a 2-turn, however. Doesn't want to stress himself out there.
He's still in the difficult position of not being able to get a focus token because of Karnor, but he can boost, which is what he's doing now.
Yeah. He boost, and depending on how he lands... Ooh, that's close. He may have arc onto the back of the shuttle, which... Nice position for Poe to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Can hang on to the back of that thing, and we know what 3 attack dice does to a shuttle. And we've got Soontir. Let's see what he... So a nice 3-turn, winging way out around that debris cloud. Very likely going to be continuing the chase onto Poe here.
Yeah. Classic Soontir. Beautiful maneuverability. Beautiful action economy.
And we've got barrel roll over.
I foresee a boost in the future that will do much to help Karnor as well. Clears his possible maneuver landing spots.
I'm not... Yeah, he may be able to... so he is boosting. Wasn't sure if Andrew was going to boost. He is in a decent spot next turn to be able to turn to his left or bank or turn to the right.
Now, I don't know if he put that down and he wasn't able to complete it, but if he
Looks like it possible, yeah.
Yeah, if he had looked at it and said, I want to boost to the right, and he had put that maneuver template down, he has to try to complete that. You can't just say, I want to do a boost to the... no. So, you have to be very careful when it comes to those kinds of maneuvers. It did look like he wouldn't be able to complete it just because of where Karnor Jax is.
Yeah. And so there we saw Captain Yor's ability triggering. Soontir pushing himself, and Captain Yor taking the stress. Oh, a little bit of a bump there, so realign the shuttle.
Now, it is important to notice that Soontir Fel didn't get a focus as a result of pushing, and that is a specific interaction between Yor and Soontir. Because Yor is taking the stress, Soontir doesn't get the focus as a result.
Yeah, it never actually touches Soontir. But he's still pushing himself for a single focus. And there is Karnor going into the back of Red Ace, spending his focus for 4 potentials here. 1 evasion from Red Ace. And there is the shields just completely blown away. Pilot ability triggering, getting an evade token. Well, he can't spend it, because Karnor's too close, but if he can get himself clear of Karnor, he'll be able to use it in later turns. However, an X-Wing clearing the engagement range of an Interceptor is fairly unlikely, especially where Karnor is able to go after Red Ace.
It looks like he's trying to figure out whether Poe Dameron is an arc. It looks like it's good.
There's Poe going into the shuttle. One potential. Or a couple potentials, so shuttle takes... Looks like the shuttle took one, and we saw Palpatine use there. Not a whole lot of damage taken by Andrew this game so far.
Yeah, it looks like he's been flying very well. Especially, I'm a big fan of how he's able to keep Karnor in a optimized position and use him where he needs to be used.
It is very nice. And there's your clearing that stress he took from Soontir. Nice, easy maneuver up.
Looks like he's going to be hitting a rock next turn, but...
Either hitting a rock or performing just a zero maneuver. And there's the Talon roll. So Red Ace deciding, you know what? I'm never actually going to get away from Karnor. Let's try to get myself turned around. But that is still an awfully wide open flank for Karnor to get himself parked beside.
Especially when he has access to both the boost and barrel roll actions.
Exactly.
Now, he doesn't have Soontirfell's push the limit ability, so he can't use both of them, but he can use the one that he needs to use.
For sure. And so we have Jake just clearing his stress.
Poor Jake, he doesn't seem to be getting a break this game, or I should say he's been getting a lot of a break. Action has not really been revolving around him, and that means he hasn't been getting a lot of shots in.
No, he was able to take his one pass early on into the shuttle, but unfortunately missed both of his shots. And now just because of the stressful maneuvers, or the stress he's been receiving, he hasn't really been able to perform those really short maneuvers or a K-turn.
Now, I don't know if that pushing the limit for Jake is really the best course of action when you don't need to. It's one of those classic examples of, hey, you have the option available, you don't have to take it if it's going to limit, if you have better options.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get stuck in a pattern. And so here we've got Soontir getting himself, he does not want to boost into arc of Poe here. But he does set himself up nicely to try to jump Poe on the next turn.
And because he did two actions, he is going to be getting a stress. Now, I'm curious of whether or not that stress is going to land. And
So Yori is going to take it. So no zero maneuver for the shuttle next turn. And let's see where Karnor is going. Nice wide turn there.
And I foresee a barrel roll in Karnor's future, which would place him in the perfect spot to arc. Not only is he arc dodging, but he's also going to be getting a nice 4 attack dice into the side of that T-70 X-Wing.
Yes, that should be range 1. And if it is, yeah. Oh, and it is. So there is no spending that evade token that Red Ace got last turn. Karnor has 4 attack dice. And here we have... Oh, no, it looks like it was out of range 1.
Okay.
So, evades 1, but still takes... still takes a nasty amount of damage there.
And now he has to try to figure out whether he wants to drop that integrated Astromech.
So does he decide to destroy R2? Go very New Hope on us here.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a weapons failure. That is not an ideal crit, and a console fire. Ooh.
Yeah, those aren't exactly what he wants, but he does get to keep R2-D2, and for the most part, I think that's worth it. If either of those had been a cascading crit or a direct hit, that would have been a dead Red Ace. With R2-D2, he might have a hope of regaining some of his shields, but with Karnor Jax hot on his tail, that might be the death of him.
Yeah, and the very nice thing with the integrated Astromech is it says when you're dealt a damage card, so you can actually look at your crit, decide, is this scary? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna lose my Astromech this turn.
Yeah.
But it looks like, yeah, he will opt to keep both of the crits there. So Red Ace is down to, well, 1+1 hull. Really not a good spot for him.
Yeah, I was very lucky that Carnor Jax wasn't within range 1. I thought he was going to be for sure, but being able to spend that evade token saved his bacon.
Definitely. And so here is Poe. We have the Predator reroll, taking a shot into the back of Captain Yor here. Spending that focus to modify it, and there is just picking away at the shuttle, so 1 more point of damage to it. But Alex's red ace, he's in a rough spot this time.
I don't think he has any chance to survive. He should make his time.
And there, alright.
Landing on a rock.
Interesting direction, not the direction of bank I expected, but yeah, it's also smart. All right, if I'm going to go over the asteroid, well, let's put it to use and keep it between myself and Poe, possibly. And you're taking a point of damage. Andrew opting not to Palpatine that roll. There's not really any point yet.
Now, you want to save Palpatine for the guys that really matter, and that's those Interceptors.
A nice maneuver forward. Take our green maneuver. Get the shield back from R2.
Now he's trying to figure out what crit he wants to address. He has 2 that he can start working on. However, he's going to ignore both of them and opt for a boost. Not a bad move. He does get a shield from R2-D2, and that means that if he gets fired at by either anything, he's going to lose a shield. He'll get that shield. He'll get an evade token.
Yeah.
I think Red Ace at this point in time just wants to survive. I don't really blame him.
Yeah, and there we have Jake. Nice green maneuver. Take a focus and a free boost. And this would really not be a good point to. He is going to opt to continue to push the limit. I guess, just trying to keep Jake safe, but at the same time, there's probably not really a whole lot that's going to be shooting at him.
Well, I think he's worried if Carnor gets a stray shot at him. However, for the most part, Carnor has been unmodified in his dice rolls. He's been relying mostly on sheer weight of volume and a bit of Palp to help him out. Where Jake, if he does get any shots at him from Carnor Jax, it most probably will be range 3, which then he'll get an Autothrusters trigger.
Exactly. And that is just a beautiful K-turn there.
Yeah, that is one of the beautiful things about the TIE Interceptor, is that they have a 3K turn.
And just absolute cheek of Captain Yor, taking the stress from the K-turn. And then
getting a stress from the debris.
Unfortunately, from the debris cloud as well. But, hey, Soontir gets a focus out of it, and he is in range 1 of Poe. Poe is not going to be able to shoot him. That is really not a nice spot for Poe to be in.
And Carnor Jax boosting, as he wanted to do, in order to stay hot on the tail of Red Ace. Poor guy. I really feel for him.
He's got his... Carnor's definitely got his sights set on Red Ace here. Wants to put him down, and we have the console fire going out and not taking the damage from it, which is nice. And here's Carnor.
Oh,
there's a Palpatine use, so 4 points of damage.
Very nice dice rolls. Not good enough to survive.
No, and that is...
Crit.
Oh, crit and...
Crit.
Yeah. And Red Ace is just... Nope, I'm done, guys. I'm going home. Carnor gets his prey. Just absolutely brutal. And here we have Soontir. Ooh, the 2 non-hit dice are focused in for 4 potential damage. Poe gets 1.
Thanks to his pilot ability. God, love that ability.
And takes a crit, which is... Oh, a loose stabilizer. Oh, possibly. May have played that... maybe playing that incorrectly, but... It's a loose stabilizer the next time he executes a white maneuver. However, there's also crit of you just take a stress. So it's possible that's what that was. But here's Poe. shooting into the back of the shuttle here. And gets 2 points through.
And that means that Lambda shuttle is exactly at halfway point, and that means he's giving up half of his MOV.
So no, not getting skunked this round, which is always a good feeling. But Alex he's still got quite a ways to go here. And Poe is
Jake into Karnor Jax, 2 potentials, doesn't quite cut the
Range 3.
sheer amount of defense dice that Karnor has.
Range 3 through an asteroid. With Autothrusters, you have to get... Well, Karnor has to get phenomenally unlucky there.
Yeah.
And we've got the shuttle going to be pulling hard over here. Looks like he doesn't... he got a little camera shy here. Doesn't want to play nice. But a nice hard turn over across the top of the board. Doesn't want to fly off and accidentally cede victory points that way. And let's see where Jake is going to go. So again, still kind of limited in his maneuvers. Wants to perform greens, but still an A-wing. He's got a nice plethora of green maneuvers.
Performs that focus action. I think if he doesn't barrel roll, it would be... There we go. There's the barrel roll. It would be a waste.
Absolutely. And nicely skirting that asteroid there. And actually puts himself in... puts himself in a pretty good position to...
He is in a good spot. However, Karnor Jax, as we know, is a dirtbag. If Karnor doesn't really push that far out of Jake's fire arc, then Jake's action economy that he's really stressing himself out for is useless.
Well, and actually, Alex may have... looks like he accidentally misplayed this here. There's no way for Jake to push the limit to perform a focus that close to Karnor.
Oh, that is true as well, yes.
A little bit of an oops there, but we'll see if that ends up being an issue.
Yeah, Karnor Jax is one of the biggest denial pieces in this game. We don't have a lot of denial pieces such as we have in other games where it's like, hey, you just can't do stuff. A lot of players tend to find that a negative play experience, and you see that a little bit with soft denial pieces such as, or soft control, such as Ion and Stress. But even now, Ion is not a really big part of the game anymore. Stress still is, but there is a lot of ways of mitigating that.
Absolutely.
Karnor is in the perfect spot. He's going to be completely screwing over 2 ships and their action economy. Poe to a lesser extent because of his nice pilot ability, but...
Just getting the jump on Poe there. We saw Palpatine being used very early on, taking 2 points, but Poe is still taking 2 points of damage here. And let's see, so there is a shield and a crit. Stunned pilot. That is not a nice pilot. That is not a nice crit to have.
No, it looks like he's going to keep it. Now, R5 P9 is not really coming up that much in this game because of Sunter fell, spending a focus
to get 3. 0 to 3. And Poe natively rolling his 2 evades and spending his integrated Astromech right there.
Yep.
Just saying, all right, I'm getting rid of that point of damage. Poe is, well, he's on his last leg. That's it. He's only got the 1 health left. And is he an arc? That does not look like he has arc on Karnor.
Survey says no, but hold on a second. We still have Jake in the fray.
Range 3 Jake, or range 1 Jake with 3 attack dice.
Range 1 is not where he wants to be, but he does get 3 attack dice.
And that is 3 potentials from Jake.
Does get an evade token in there, so he looks like he's only taking 1 point of damage.
It is a crit. Let's see what the crit is. It is a direct hit. Oh, he got 2 through. And a shaken pilot.
Now, that would normally be a dead Karnor Jax. However, Karnor does have that beautiful hull upgrade.
Which saves
his bacon.
That was a focus result, not an evade, so spending his evade token to keep his ship alive. Very nice. And as the hull upgrade, it's not something you see often outside of, well, Imperial Aces. Normally it doesn't do you that much good, but with an Aces list...
But it's very expensive for 3 points, and even when I flew Sunterfell, I liked having a shield upgrade or a hull upgrade. The stealth device is really difficult to make it to make use of when outside of a Palp list, because Palpatine really gives you that added benefit. Now, really ballsy move here from Alex, because he only has that one hull left.
He will be double stressed here.
That looked like a focus result.
Oof. But, however, that stunned pilot, you are executing a maneuver that overlaps an obstacle. Would that not have...
That is correct.
I think that should have actually killed Poe there.
Well, let's see if his opponent will remember it.
But here we have Jake moving up and bumping into the back of Karnor, so no actions from Jake, however... Unless Suntir decides to go after him, probably not in that bad a spot. And Suntir taking a nice, nice bank there.
I think that Suntir is actually going to be doing some arc dodging, unless he really wants to... Yeah. Okay, not exactly where I was expecting him to go. He's barrel rolling.
He's possibly in range 1 of Jake there, so getting himself out of that range band. So the shuttle is just continuing its to hang out up at the top of the board. He doesn't really need to be in the fight now. All he's doing is just providing the Palpatine role, or the Palpatine ability.
Yeah.
And here we have Karnor. That is a 5.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a 5k turn.
That's what it looks like. Nice, very nice maneuver by Karnor there.
Disengages a bit, but he's still able to be in the fight.
And turns the loose stabilizer face down. A long range shot into Poe. Normally, range 3 shots into Poe are not what you want to do, but as we've mentioned, this Poe doesn't have Autothrusters. It's still 4 defense dice on that X-Wing. Well, let's see, he does have the 1 health. And Poe survives Karnor's shot. But let's see if he can take this range 1 focused, and no, that's dead.
There is no way.
It is physically impossible for Poe to survive this. And just a beautiful evasion roll, adding insult to injury.
Salt to the wound.
Poe takes 2 and goes down.
Now, it really is up to Jake in order to try to secure a little bit more points. If he's able to take out Karnor Jax, then he's able to go after the shuttle, maybe even kill it, and turn the tide of this game.
Yeah. He's got half value of the shuttle so far, and all he needs to do is just land that 1 shot into Karnor. However, this is, again, range 3. Finally spending that target lock he acquired super early in the game.
With the Autothruster trigger, just saves his butt.
Yeah.
That was very close.
that was almost a dead Karnor.
Yeah, Karnor sweating a little bit.
Yeah, and honestly, this might not be a bad point for Karnor to disengage from the fight. He doesn't really want to risk getting hit by a stray shot.
He doesn't want to give up that beautiful MOV that he has already secured. However, the closer Karnor is to Jake, the safer he might actually be.
And there we have measuring, and he is just out of range 1, so Jake is able to perform his focus. And let's see what maneuver Jake decides to do. And we have the shuttle. We see the shuttle at the top of the board. It has made its triumphant return. The Space Cow is pointing back towards the bottom of the table.
And some of you might note that we still have the same, for this top table, we still have the same problem that we did in, not last week's video, but the week before that. This camera was not realigned, but we figured that because most of the action is set in the middle of the board, we just wanted to show you this game, and I really like the pair-off. We saw some, so... I'm just
Jake.
very interested to see if Jake can put the final nail in the coffin against Karn or Jax here.
Getting buddied up next to Suntir there. Taking his free barrel roll and pushing to boost. Looks like he wants to get himself in the position where he can, next turn to engage. Either, well, I guess continue the chase on Karnor, but also doesn't want to accidentally end up in the fire arc of the shuttle as he was after his barrel roll.
So disengaged from Suntir.
Yep, and that was a crit, so we saw Palpatine changing that dice down to, well, to no damage. So a very early use of Palpatine this round. However, well, it doesn't really matter. Andrew wasn't going to be able to shoot Jake anyway, so.
Yeah.
Karnor, nice, easy maneuver there. Getting rid of his stress from his K turn.
I foresee a barrel roll and boost boost, not add.
No barrel roll from
No
him
push
as
the
well.
limit.
No. An easy boost forward.
It is always nice to have push the limit on these TIE Interceptors. They just make it so worthwhile. However, we have seen time and again in this game that the pilot skill advantage is so much worth it.
Absolutely. Especially in, well, a meta where Dengaroo is or can be so predominant. Mm-hmm. You want Karnor to be able to go after the pilots, both pilots, and really get himself in a nice spot where he can say, nope, you can't do that.
And here we have
The shuttle is chasing after Jake.
Jake's trying to get out of dodge.
Again, looks like he may just be out of range 1 here to continue to use his focus. Oh, and this does warrant a check. And this is why I like the our little range measurement tokens, where it has the 1, the 1 to 2, and the 1 to 3 are all separate tokens.
Yeah.
But it looks like he is just out of. Ah, no, he is in. He's within range there. Oh, he is not. So he's.
It looked like they were just going, rather than have a judge call, they just won to 50-50.
50-50. That's a fair call. And so there's the focus. He does not take his free maneuver and pushes for an evade. And Karnor, well, knowing where Jake is, Karnor's not going to have a lot of trouble staying away from him. Andrew, well, given how Jake was oriented, it's not a hard guess of where he was going to end up, so Andrew should be able to keep Karnor well away from him and preserve his Interceptor's health.
We have Sunterfell doing a 2-turn, and that is a green maneuver. Thanks to the beautiful maneuver dial of the TIE Interceptor.
Oh, the TIE Interceptor's expensive, but man, is that dial great. Barrel roll, pushing to boost, and Suntir is getting into a very nice position to head off and ambush Jake here. And let's see where Karnor is going.
I think Karnor is actually going to bump Suntir, maybe?
Oh no, he's just burning past him.
Yeah, very close.
4 forward. Shit. Just getting out of dodge, staying away from Jake.
I'm a big fan of Andrew's disengage.
Absolutely.
Something that we say here often on Wookies on X-Wing, and something that I love seeing it put to practice.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is your best option, is just run away and fight another day.
And when it comes to the better part of Valor, there's nothing quite like an Interceptor's ability to disengage.
Absolutely. And so here is Suntir taking a range, oh, that looked like range 3, through an asteroid into Jake. And Jake says, oh, that's cute. Good effort, that's cute.
I actually have actions. Look at what these do.
Yeah. Well, you didn't actually need them.
Yeah. It's just having them.
Oh, actually, absolutely. And here's Palpatine taking fire, taking Jake under fire. Actually using his own ability on his ship.
I can just get the visual of Palpatine reaching over and backseat driving to Captain York.
No, no, shoot him!
Yes.
And Jake, well, just showing how evasive an A-Wing can be, taking no damage from either of these shots here. And the shuttle continuing its lazy journey up.
You mean its attack approach?
The shuttle is on an attack run.
It's coming for you, Jake. It's coming for you.
And let's see where Jake is going.
Nice target lock. The ponderous space cow chases its prey.
Now, in the A-Wing, it does tend to have a similar problem to a TIE fighter, and this thing is devilishly hard to slow play with. It does only have those one hard turns for one maneuvers.
Yeah, and while they're good, it does mean that if you're trying to chase something, sometimes that something can put on the brakes and you just fly past it.
Fly past it or fly into it, exactly.
Yeah, very frustrating. Why can't I go slow? Why doesn't this thing have brakes?
So takes a focus, gets his free barrel roll, and opts not to push the limit here. Looks like he doesn't want to be stressed for next turn. Really wants to keep his options open.
I think he's also leveraging the fact that the Interceptor can also not really go slow.
No, it can't.
They pretty much have identical dials with the exception of the fact that A-Wings have a 5 forward green.
Yeah.
Where the Interceptor's 5 forward is white.
Yeah, and that is... Especially for anyone, the first time they play an A-Wing and your opponent goes, I'm doing a 5 forward. It's a green maneuver.
What?
The reaction is, wait, what? Where can I buy that? And so there's Soontir. Nice positioning by Alex here. Soontir slamming into the side of Jake. So there is going to be no shots coming out of him this turn. And Karnor looks like... Oh, Karnor's getting a bit brave here.
Now Jake kind of wishes he's green 3, or sorry, green leader.
You can still shoot ships you're engaged with, exactly.
I can never remember his name. I never see him in play.
No. Oh, Arvel, yeah.
Arvel, that's right.
And there is... Oh.
Guy that destroys a Star Destroyer.
Yeah. And Karnor not quite taking Jake into his arc with his barrel roll. Long-range shot by Captain Yor here, spending the target lock for 3 hits. That should actually be through an asteroid. But, so there we are, Jake taking no damage from the shuttle. Not terribly surprising. That kind of one-on-one shots. The A-Wing is unlikely to take damage.
Yeah. Jake wants to do a K-turn. I don't know if he's going to.
Oh, he is doing a 1 turn. Now that he's seen where the direction Karnor's going, he wants to try to head him off here. But I don't know if he actually has enough room to get himself positioned.
Yeah, I don't think he won't be able. He definitely will not be able to barrel roll.
No.
Boosting is really tricky.
It is, and it's really not going to accomplish your purpose of turning that way to get Karnor into your fire arc.
No. That's really that denial effect that I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. Really powerful ability, and a lot of it is a psychological ability too. It weighs on your opponent's mind of what their possible actions are going to be, and it forces them to do things that they wouldn't necessarily normally do, or play a certain way that they're not necessarily comfortable. And because it really gets them out of that comfort zone, you can monopolize on it and really win games.
Yeah, and so there we saw Jake taking a target lock and pushing for an evade. A little bit of a mismatch in the pilot, in the movement order there. Jake moving before the shuttle by accident, but
I think Alex was just getting a little pumped.
Yeah, a little trigger happy there. That's all right. And Soontir, very, very sharp turn.
I think
Kind of a hallmark of the TIE chassis, most of the TIE chassis in general, that one hard turn.
I think soon too. I think Andrew was expecting Jake to perform exactly the way I did, which was to do that K turn. And knowing that that's not the case, he's trying to reposition himself for next turn.
Yeah, Soontir can get himself nicely oriented. Little surprised Soontir didn't boost forward to try to help get around that asteroid. And Karnor almost face planting. Really close there. I would say probably barrel roll here.
Yeah, Jake doesn't have a focused. Okay, well, that's not the direction I was expecting, but it makes
You
a lot
can't
of
complete
sense.
that, unfortunately. A nice try to get to bring Jake under fire and try to kill him before he can take a shot at you. But it is not to be. So barrel rolling away from Jake. And closest to closest. Looks like that may be through an asteroid.
Ooh, yep.
And here we have Jake, so he's out of range 1.
2 attack
Two
dice.
focus results, spending his target lock. 1 potential. And with Palpatine on the board, there is literally no way you can kill.
So close.
Yeah.
All it really takes is one good solid hit, and then Jake can start working on Soontir.
A nice surprise maneuver there from Alex. I did like that, and we'll see. Oh, so the shuttle is not able to complete that turn. Soontir is unfortunately catching the edge of it. So here we are, aligning the shuttle along the maneuver template. Very carefully taking that out. Oh, an interesting direction by Jake here. Looks like he's trying to stay out of fire arc of that shuttle.
I think at this point, Jake just wants to disengage and stay out of the fight. If he doesn't take shots, he's not getting blown up.
No, exactly. Boost forward here, a nice boost, and just getting himself, putting some distance between himself. Possibly, well, he'll be in a nice position next turn to get himself swung around, and again start taking shots into the back of that shuttle there.
Now, I'm curious to see how bloodthirsty Andrew is going to be in trying to chase down Jake.
Let's see. So we have a boost from Soontir here. I don't think he has enough room to complete a barrel roll to the right. It's gonna be close,
I'm pretty sure he's going to be trying.
but he should be pushing the limit.
So he's going to just
Just
get a double focus up.
Yep.
Every single time Soontir gets a stress, he is able to get a free focus token assigned to him. So that's... Ooh, is he bumping? That looks close.
I don't know if Karnor is on. Oh, he is definitely on the asteroid. Oh, he does not take the damage, which
No,
is nice.
he
And
does
there's
not.
Soontir firing off, taking a focus.
Yeah, that is one of the that's nice things about Emperor Palpatine. As your battle master, he can just say, "Hey, that asteroid, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I got you.
I got you back."
Jake blowing both of his tokens to take no damage. This A-Wing is proving to be devilishly difficult to actually land a hit on.
It is a little unfortunate that Alex was playing so cagey with Jake earlier in the game. I can understand why, especially with Karnor Jax's ability, and it could end up being a lot of that psyops, that fear factor that Karnor brings to the table that allowed Jake to basically stay out of the fight. But Jake is really showing and proving himself as the master of the endgame here. Now, unfortunately, it looks like Jake is just going to be disengaging, or fortunately for Jake.
just trying to swing around.
Just trying to stay out of the fight.
Yeah, and we have... So Soontir, not quite sure why he pushed the limit. Or I guess just to ensure that he got a focus for his attack roll.
Yeah, exactly.
But here we have nice, easy two bank. And again, just Soontir being pretty bloodthirsty here, chasing down Jake. Karnor being pretty ballsy, quite frankly.
Going through the rock again, no action.
No action. Let's see if Andrew is forced to use his Palpatine roll early on. That was the wrong dice.
And
Nope.
it's still blank.
Still blank. So not an issue.
And Soontir definitely focused up with push the limit.
Yep. All right. So here we are. Should be Soontir taking shots into the back of Jake very shortly. Checking if Karnor had range. Not quite.
Always nice to check. Those
Wouldn't
things.
be surprised if Karnor again just
Another green dice thrown in among the red.
if Karnor just blasts through the asteroid directly in front of him next turn.
You can see that time is of the essence with this particular game. Jake has really just been trying to survive, go to time. Soontir has been chasing him down.
Yeah, Andrew wants to get his full MOV here. He wants to kill Jake. And here you've got the shuttle turning this ponderous turnaround.
Is he hitting that debris field?
Not quite. Doesn't look like. It's still a red maneuver, a 2-turn.
Yeah.
And here, so
Hey, you want some stress?
Yeah.
Get your own.
yeah, Jake taking his focus, boosting forward, just continuing that trend of focus, push to evade.
It's been working for him this far, and as long as Karnor isn't within range 1, doesn't have much to worry about.
No. Soontir, again, nice, lazy bank. Shed that stress.
It's funny when a 2 bank is lazy.
Yeah. Oh,
Or 2 hard is lazy because of the green maneuvers that the TIE Interceptor has.
absolutely.
So boost and barrel roll. That means a focus token for sure, thanks to push the limit and
That is a range 1 shot. That looks to be a range 1 shot.
Jake can Soontir seal the deal.
Jake's got to be sweating in his boots here. As we said, Karnor just like, Emperor's got my back.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
just holding down the trigger while flying through rocks.
Basically, Leroy Jenkins through an asteroid. And the attack dice comes up blank for it.
Range 2 from Karnor. So we have 3 attack dice into 3 defense dice. Not the roll he wants. He's not going to be using Palpatine on that. I don't blame him. Soontir, on the other hand, not exactly great, but not bad either.
No, so it looks like Soontir was not quite in range 1. Jake spends his token and doesn't take damage, and that is the last of the game.
He was able to survive. I'm impressed. Matt, what did you think of Alex's squadron?
Well, I always like to see X-Wings of any kind, and especially A-Wings. But I like the squadron. I think he kind of threw away the T-70s here. Perhaps played a little too aggressively and ended up getting caught out in a bait and switch. A very nicely played bait and switch with Soontir there. And lost them without actually doing a whole lot of damage with them.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate that both Red Ace, who is fairly renowned for his ability of not only staying power with R2-D2, but also with the Comm relay and the evade token, he can be an attrition monster. But then,
And the Karnor just telling him, no, you're not doing that this game.
yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, Poe Dameron, pretty much in the same field, very defensive, especially with his pilot ability, holding on to that focus, R5, P9 at the end of the round. Karnor just said, nope.
You can't do that.
So, Karnor Jax, MVP of this game. I'm a big fan of Andrew's squadron. This is pretty much the not that I would say the most unique, because that's a bit of a redundancy, but having 2 interceptors in a Palp Aces squadron. I'm going to dub this the Royal Squadron, the Royal Palp Aces. I am a huge fan of seeing Interceptors, amazingly flown, very tactfully done, and then on top of that, deploying Carnor Jacks in a way that just was a monster on the fear element of it, the denial event, the control, so much dark side. I love it.
Yeah.
But what did you think of Andrew's squadron, Matt?
I like it. It's definitely, you know what? I say it's daring. Playing 2 Interceptors, they're very expensive. They're very fragile, but you've got Emperor Palpatine and the upgrades that he's got on Soontir and Carnor. It made them work. He played it very well. I was really happy to see that squadron flown well. But anyway, as always, guys, thanks for watching Wookies on X-Wing. Be sure to like and subscribe. We've got videos out every Wednesday.
We are part of the Northern Gaming Network. Be sure to check it out at northerngamingnetwork.com, where we have additional content for this game and others.
And outside of the comments of our videos, if you want to get hold of us, John's going to let you know how you can do that.
Well, if you want to be my friend on Twitter, you can find me at Corhath, that's Corhath. But you can also find us on our official Northern Gaming handle at NorthGameNet, or you can like us on Facebook to keep up with our most recent news.
And we'll see you guys next week.